Greetings, YouTube. At the time of filming, it's November 6th, 2022, and it is 9:22 p.m. and it's 69 degrees outside in New Hampshire in November. I can remember the blizzard of '78, where there was so much snow that I was able to personally walk down the center of Route 3, and the snow was only about 6 inches deep at that point in the middle of the road, and I was the only living thing out there. It was just empty. It was like walking through an Arctic post-apocalyptic environment. I can remember a snowstorm on Easter one year. My sister, I think, was 1. And it's 69 degrees at 9:22 p.m. on November 6th. Anyone that looks at the world around them right now with outrageous forest fires in Europe and droughts of unprecedented depth and severity all over the world, with flooding in places that don't necessarily normally get flooded, with places already seeing significant response to the sea levels rising. We're getting stronger storms every year, higher highs, lower lows, and it's just going to get worse. Whatever you experienced for your summer this past year, that'll be the coolest summer you'll ever experience again. It's going to keep getting worse. There was a time when I didn't need air conditioning and I was able to survive summers. Now I do. Now we have 2 air conditioners that we run alternatively, either in the bedroom or the living room, depending on where we are. And that's the only way we can survive the hot weather. The only way I can sleep in the daytime, because I work nights. Climate change is real. The people that have caused it, the petrochemical industries, they have known it's real for, I don't know, since the late 70s, early 80s, and they have spent millions and millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, to do everything they can to make sure that a whole lot of people in the world, particularly in America, don't believe it's real. They have spread misinformation constantly for decades, and they've gotten enough support from the conservative folks in America and the world at large that they've been very successful. Right now, you will find people in the world who will vehemently deny that global climate change is a real thing. There are 2 billion pounds of elastic crabs that they're just gone. The Alaskan crab population has just been decimated because of climate change. We have more and more shark attacks in New England every year because they're moving north, because they can, because the waters are getting warm. There will be a time when I will be living in a semi-tropical environment. I'll see that before I die. There will be parts of the southern United States that will become uninhabitable, those that aren't flooded. In some places they can build seawalls, but like, for example, Florida, it's on porous foundations. The rock is porous. You can't stop the ocean. It's just going to seep up through the ground itself. We can kiss southern Florida goodbye. And people don't want to change. And I have LED bulbs everywhere in my house because I'm cheap. And I would like to reduce my personal carbon footprint. But you know where the concept of personal carbon footprint came from? Petrochemical companies. Because they don't want you thinking about the fact that some 90% of global greenhouse gases are coming from industries. 70% of them from 100 specific companies that have names and addresses and CEOs. They don't want you thinking about that. They want you to be concerned about your personal carbon footprint. And while all of us should be concerned about it, we should be far more concerned about those industries, about making them toe the line. If we were to all act in concert, every single person on this planet did everything we could to help stop this, and we did it for the next 5 years, we might keep the planet habitable for humans everywhere. But we're not going to do that. And there will be parts of the world, and including America, that are going to become uninhabitable, where you won't be able to get water or food, and there won't be a darn thing that we can do about it at that point. And the people that have caused it, the billionaires, they'll get along just fine. They'll move north. They'll be able to have all the resources at their disposal to make sure that they live their whole lives as comfortably as they want to, and teach their personal children that they had nothing to do with it, all the while convincing the masses that they had nothing to do with it. And they'll spend the rest of their lives standing on a pile of corpses of humans and the extinction of animals all over the world. All because it means that they would have a little bit more than other folks do, more power, more wealth, more influence, more control. And for some strange reason, we let them get away with it. I'm not sure why, but we do. So think about that the last summer you've experienced is going to be the coolest of the rest of your life. Think about the fact that it's New England and it's 69 degrees at 9:22 p.m. Let that sink in, and go ahead and tell me that global climate change is fake.